Hello, Kathryn here. Welcome to my channel and my video. In this video, we're going to go into a bit of a deeper dive concerning Nathaniel Drew's thoughts on clickbaiting and filmmaking. And we begin with him discussing how most of his audience tends to drop off. So he has to grab your attention and keep your attention. Now you may be asking, lady, what's your beef with this guy? He's trying to send a good message to people through aesthetic videos about very deep things. Well, I'll tell you. He made 2 different series, not just videos, series, about how he learned languages in 1 week. I have made other videos about how these are patently untrue, impossible, and extremely misleading to his audience. Well, lucky for us, this video explains the thought process, although in his usual pretentious way.
Expectations and reality, the real difficulty of building a new habit or learning something new. And more than ever, we compare ourselves with what we see online, and this is a very dangerous thing.
How do I get people's attention? I'm really good in front of and behind the camera, but I need to look like a genius.
And I go through these feelings of, being discouraged.
I know that the title of this video is Why You're Discouraged and How to Beat It, which, believe me, he chooses his words very carefully. That's a very authoritative thing to say, as if he has the answer and the solution to things. What this video is him qualifying his films and the clickbait with some nonsense on perspective.
To share what has helped me with my own feelings of discouragement. I wanted to talk about this because I feel like I have kind of a unique perspective.
What?
I've been on both sides of the whole social media world, both as somebody watching the content that's out there.
Okay, then, if he's been part of the audience, then he understands the audience's desire to find authority figures, to find people that can teach them something, and people that entertain them.
Idea of the gap that exists between reality and what we see online. And so this is definitely something that I've been thinking about for a while now. I used to think, oh, it's just a simple case of accountability, just tell the truth. But it's actually nowhere near that black and white. As I'm coming to realize, even truth itself is...
Oh, get off it. You know that what you did was not truthful. It's fine to make a nice film, even if you want to exaggerate a little bit, but a patent lie, an unqualified, at the time, lie. And then this is all about honesty. Honesty about dishonesty, which you're a part of. So how am I supposed to take this as an honest narrative?
I guess what pulled me in was sort of a desire to learn how to tell better stories and a general fascination for the audiovisual world. And I saw firsthand how little what you capture on set corresponds with reality, with like real life. For one, being on set can actually be quite boring. Sometimes you are dying to pee, but you can't go because you're in the middle of the 14th take of the same goddamn close-up and you have to stay silent, depending on the kind of...
Alright, so this is to say that a lot of work goes into filmmaking, and that some things are going to be obscured, or unknown, or omitted, or fabricated.
Completely unrelated items is actually fascinating to watch. I highly recommend looking it up. And all of that is actually part of the magic. Film, at some level, cannot correspond with reality, and there are many reasons for this.
He's basically saying that these are films, and they're done in a way to get your attention, to look good, to give you some kind of message, and he looks good. He knows that it's a competitive thing, and he also knows trends. He's a very smart guy. But you know what? He's not the only smart person around. Other people are observant. Other people know the reality that they've never met a single soul who learned a damn language in a week. And they never will, unless they're talking to another liar.
Belief. Horror films play with our imagination. Documentaries challenge our views. This is, of course, a double-edged sword. We love it, but it isn't real. And since the beginning of filmmaking, since the invention of languages by human beings, we've been trying to figure out where to draw the lines, what the rules of storytelling are, what is real and what is fake. Now, this isn't just something that the film industry has to deal with. What I'm basically saying is that this is human nature and that it touches every aspect of our lives.
Well, I could agree with him that we like to put our best image out, our best face forward, and sometimes it's been altered or made up or covered up. But this is basically him starting to qualify that he does this because everyone else does this. So now he's going to start softly massaging the whole clickbait thing.
We blame major tech companies for allowing and promoting things like clickbait, and they have a role to play in all of this, but fundamentally, there's a bigger driving force, and that is human nature. Whenever you make something and then put it out into the world, it only makes sense to make an effort for other people to see it. All the value, be it financial or the exchange of ideas or connecting.
To me, what he's saying, and how even this film is put together, is that he is extremely aware of all the nuances and subtleties and some of the overt messaging, from his words to the colors to the editing, the music, how he looks at the camera, the B-roll, and the broader picture like the market, human nature. I mean, we're going as big as human nature here. He is aware of what he is doing. You want to sell something? I ain't got a problem with that. I'd like to capitalize off of my assets one day. I need to demonstrate that there's some value, and I want to be known as an honest person and not a liar. I have to get people's trust, maintain that trust, and provide value. And I have to do it with what I have, and how human nature is, of course. I'm even aware of ways that I could do this in a very manipulative way. Understanding certain buttons to press to elicit responses from other people, that is a very valuable asset, because that means you can market. Again, I'm not saying I have a problem with trying to sell something. My main problem is that he is perfectly fine, and in fact this is quite deliberate, to place himself in an authority figure role. Oh, believe me, this guy's smart. Maybe even genius smart, because he knows how to read the market, he knows how to best use his skills to sell us these ideas and his content, which is carefully curated. And even in a video like this, it's just brilliant, isn't it? That he's basically explaining why he lied while still inundating us with these images that were present in those videos.
Have seen firsthand the positive impact that meditation has had on my own life, and I wanted to share that with the world. In a sense, I'm okay with using clickbait for the greater good. In my first video, I claim in the title that, meditation is changing my life. So I'm setting up a pretty big and also ambiguous expectation. If you look at the combination of the title and the thumbnail,
It's okay because he believes in the underlying power of the message. Okay, we can go by that premise. You think language and meditation are powerful, and it's okay for you to have outright fakery as long as the message is good. Am I getting this right? Is it then okay for me to lie about my level of education and my understanding of language learning, so long as it provides a nice, pleasing image for you guys, and I'm adapting to the realities of human nature and the marketplace to justify that manipulation? You may notice that I don't go after filmmakers with similar themes in their channels. A nice, aesthetic film with a good message, I'm fine with that. I know that they're fake. Even there's, they know it's fake. They're a little tongue-in-cheek about it. Well, Nathaniel tries to be tongue-in-cheek about it, but I don't think that these videos would have been made if he didn't get called out for the dishonesty regarding the 7-day language learning.
Getting to know yourself better. In my opinion, that's a massive success. This goes deeper though. Starting out with an hour of meditation a day like I did is way harder than you might think, and definitely not advisable for somebody starting out. If you did exactly what I did, you may have ended up feeling disappointed or discouraged. That, of course, would be the exact opposite of the impact that I was trying to have with that video. But at the end of the day, if you train yourself to find context, then you'll save yourself from a lot of the disappointment. I was raised in a household.
He does this a lot. He did this with the language stuff too. Like, his methods are so hardcore, and, if other people don't think it's realistic, well, they're new to it, or maybe they're not as obsessed and as intense as he is. This is that distancing that he does from himself and the audience, while also trying to be relatable and relate to the audience. See, I'm going to just take everything he says with perspective.
Every single video that I make and everything else that's out there, but I'll just make one more example. My videos learning languages. I put some ballsy titles on some of my videos because of the fact that I believe in the amazing impact that learning languages can have. Everything, of course, should be taken with perspective. First of all, everybody learns differently. Even defining what it means to say you speak a language is up for debate. I'm not claiming to learn an entire language in 7 days. Anybody with a little bit of common sense knows that's impossible. I'm just trying to get to the point where I can speak to somebody, however ineloquently, as quickly as possible. If I had
Yeah, well, I went over your method, which was not very transparent, saying that people, of course, no common sense, but you sure made it look like you learned how to be conversational in a week. I will never, this is the hill I will die on. You said, I learned Italian or Portuguese in 1 week. Unqualified. Unqualified. And now you're going to sit here and invoke Marcus Aurelius. You're going to invoke Marcus Aurelius to justify lying, to justify clickbait, manipulation, because it's human nature, and that's what the people want. I'm actually impressed at the creative and pretentious ways that he defends this fabrication. If you guys want to watch that video, knowing that it's a bunch of BS, but it looks really nice, have at it. But if you watched those videos and you really thought even Galaxy Brain here was able to do that in a week, he's basically telling you, that's not what happened. Maybe this is a small and petty hill for me to die on. Perhaps, but I'll die on it over and over and over. Because that's how much I hate lies. And I hate pretentious lies. And I hate being manipulated or condescended to. And I hate it when people who are in positions of trust and authority do the same. I don't like it. I'm going to say I don't like it. I don't care. Okay, that was a proper rant. And everyone knows how I feel about this guy now. If you found that at least entertaining, please consider liking and subscribing. I will not lie to you. I'll tell you how many hours I put into things, how many years, the methods that work for me and the methods that don't. I have a mighty anti-app rant cooking for you guys, but they won't be lies, even the rants. Okay, I will see you later.